the candidate or the legislator chooses.
Okay. Does that answer the question? That responsive to this question? Okay. Now Blair Bateman. Blair Bateman, do you want to come up?
Just a quick question about the 20. You said that the Ethics Commission would be chosen from 20 names appointed or chosen by the leaders of the legislature. Could you elaborate on that exactly? Which leaders would choose those names and how would they be chosen?
Thank you. Good question. Deanna, I think that's yours too.
Yeah, let me just find the actual.
It's spelled out pretty clearly in the document there, and we'll search for the right page. And
Okay. Once again, and maybe I can clarify this. Once again, the candidates who would serve on the Ethics Commission, the poor souls, they would choose 20 people. The qualifications of the 20 people are the following. Each member should be a citizen and throughout the duration of service shall reside and be domiciled in the state of Utah. Each member shall be 25 years of age or older. Each member shall have demonstrated integrity through leadership and service. Each member shall be educated and experienced broadly in ethical matters. And each member, even where formally affiliated with a particular party, shall be ready, willing, and able impartially to require ethical conduct from all legislators of whatever political persuasion. And no member may have been a lobbyist, a holder of elected public office, or a party officer of any kind within the previous 5 years. Then the selection, so those are your 20 names. The selection procedure works like this. The leadership, which is the, and I think it's like, let me look, it's in a different section, but the leadership of the legislature. So it's like the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader of the House, and the President of the Senate and the Majority Leader of the Senate.
Isn't it minority?
And minority, okay. Anyway, so it's the leadership of the legislature. 4 leaders of the House and Senate together must choose these 20 people, and they must choose them unanimously. So then those 20 names go into a hat, and then 5 names are drawn out of the hat at random. Now, we think that this gives the leaders of the House and the Senate every incentive to make sure that they get people, good people. And because the names are going to be drawn randomly, they're going to want to make sure that all 20 people are good people, because they can't be sure that their little toady is going to be picked. So now, if the legislators can't, for whatever reason, they just fight too much, they bicker, they cannot decide on 20 people, then the 5 original sponsors of this initiative, the people that are called czars on this, will then choose the 20 people, or the remaining 20 people. Now, we had to have someone do it, right? And we wanted to be sure that these were people that without a political agenda. So the 5 original sponsors are both Republicans and Democrats. They, some of them are nothing, so we had to have someone do it. But I tell you, those 5 sponsors, the czars, they're there to make sure that the House and Senate leadership have every motive to name those 20 people. Pardon?
The names of the czars.
The names of the czars. Oh, let's see. I have that.
Dr. Chase Peterson, former president of the University of Utah. Carl Snow, and I don't know him.
I heard he was a good guy, though.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see, here they are. Chase Peterson, former president of the University of Utah. Carl Snow, former state senator. Cassia Dippo, former leader of the Common Cause. Jordan Tanner, a former state Republican representative,
Utah County.
Utah County, and Carol Peterson, the chief clerk of the Utah State House of Representatives. And the others are alternatives. Alternates, yeah.
Yeah, they'll only be used as fallback if the legislature, pardon?
The former person.
Former, right, former. Okay. What's that?
What happens in 100 years when they all pass away?
Oh, no, they serve for 5 years in rotating terms and they go off and then.
The original 5 signers.
Oh, the czars. Well, once it gets going, then there's a replacement mechanism. So.
Yeah, the legislature can amend it.
That's just to get the thing going. Okay. Let's see. Greg Durden? Yes. Greg Durden, would you like to come forward?
Thank you. Maybe this question Mr. Snow can answer, or John Valentine, one of the current legislators. We have in our process, we have a per diem for the legislature, for the sitting legislatures. When did lobbyist gifts enter in, and what was the justification for allowing lobbyists to make gifts to the legislators?
Thank you, Greg. Carl, you want to talk about that?
Well, obviously, a lobbyist has a special interest that he's after. Now, that's not always the case. There are some that are simply being kind. If they're being kind by way of offering refreshments or something of that nature, that's one thing. But to offer anything beyond that that could be used as an incentive to buy, quote, the legislator's vote,
Can you hold that mic closer?
should be prohibited in my view. Now, that's come over a period of time where it's become intense. It's always existed, but in small amounts, and never really controlled or specifically identified as being a conflict of interest. And we think it's time to end that. Now, there are 2 other legislators who are sitting here that may wish to address that.
Any legislators want to talk about that? Okay.
John's coming up.
Oh, John.
I'd like to find the gifts, because those in the
Who are
rear
you?
here.
This is John Valentine.
Sorry, I'm John Valentine, former president of the Utah Senate, presently a senator of the Utah Senate. I'd like to find the gifts. And to find the gifts, you have to define the gifts. If a meal is not a gift, which is, I'm hearing tonight that it's a refreshment or a meal, then I don't think I've ever taken a gift. I know I haven't gotten any money. I did get some awards, nice little plaques. The difficulty is the legislators are on trial. The whole idea in this initiative appears to be to punish. And that's a word that's used throughout the initiative.
No.
You're wrong. Wait a minute. Let us speak. Go ahead.
It feels that way. As a person who has spent 21 years serving the state and who has lost a significant amount of income serving the state, I have worked with Carl Snow. I've helped him on his campaign. I know Ned Hill. I've worked with Ned, I've worked with Clairlyn. I've worked with the people who have found this initiative to be important. I just feel like that myself and my colleagues are on trial. And if we were going to apply these same rules to every school district, to every city, to every county, you would see an uproar that was beyond belief.
Our next question comes from, oh, I'm sorry, Pam.